Hey everyone who's tuning in. It's Dr. Hammond here. I am here for the Mind Reset Challenge. I promised you all during the month of May, which is Mental Health Awareness Month, which is my favorite month, that I would be going live with you all on all these platforms. But give me a sec. Let me turn it on for IG also. Okay. Oops, checking connection. All right. So it would help if I turn my camera around. There we go. Okay. This is exciting. All right. So, hey everybody. I am doing my best here. I actually, believe it or not, this is not the first time in my life that I have been live, but I'm doing it a little bit different than I have. Hi. I'm doing it a little bit different than I normally do every Tuesday, actually, on Mental Health Moment that I've been doing since like 2016, 2017. So I um Okay, so I'm on Facebook. If you're watching from Facebook, hey, Facebook, or LinkedIn, or YouTube, or Instagram. So, but there's two different cameras. So if I look at both cameras, just, you know, bear with me here. So, and I'm trying to get this to actually stay. There we go. Okay. All right. So welcome, welcome, welcome. So every Monday, as I mentioned before, and hi everybody on IG too. Every Monday for the month of May, I'm going to be here with you all for what I call Mind Reset Challenge. It's a 30-day challenge. You can get the information. Hopefully, let me put it in the comments here. You can get the information at mindresetchallenge.com. And actually, let me put it here for IG also. So I was just telling you all mindresetchallenge.com. And I don't know. Let me see. Oh, I can pin it. Wow, look at that. Cool. All right. So mindresetchallenge.com, if you're just tuning in, is where you can go. Mindresetchallenge.com is where you can go to get a free 30-day toolkit. And essentially what it is, in honor of Mental Health Awareness Month, which is one of my favorite months of the year, it's where you can go and you can get different tips, practical things that you can do for 30 days. Because hopefully as a community, we can really work on resetting our brains. There's a lot happening in the world. And let me know where you're tuning in from in the chat. Hopefully, I'll see the comments. Sometimes I can, and sometimes I cannot. But nonetheless, let me know where you're tuning in from today. I'm in the Tampa Bay area, Florida. For those of you who do not know me, and like I mentioned with that free toolkit, basically what it is for 30 days you commit to working on resetting. Because a lot of times, what I found as a psychologist in this field is we are all busy, of course. We're all running around doing multiple things, juggling multiple roles, but we really don't ever get a chance to really pause and stop and almost do like a reset, like a detox, if you will. So a lot of times we think of detoxes physically, which is of course very important too, but also mentally and emotionally. How are you doing? Are you checking in with yourself? Are you doing what you need to do, right, to get back on track? So that's essentially what the Mind Reset Challenge is, because we all have an opportunity to make sure that we are checking in and resetting ourselves. Um, so a couple of other things. So during this month of May, which is Mental Health Awareness Month, I really hope that in addition to doing this challenge, you work on one of the things I want to share with you today is just working on putting things into perspective and working on putting life into perspective, because a lot of times we tend to not recognize that we tend to look at things through a different lens. But if we took a step back and recognize that we really should be putting things into better perspective in our lives, especially when it comes to things that we're stressed about, it really does change your focus. And hi, for those who are joining on IG, it's Dr. Hammond here. We're talking about the Mind Reset Challenge. And hey, I see someone's here from Shreveport, Louisiana. Welcome, welcome. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Like I said earlier, I'm trying to juggle two cameras here. For for those of you who know me from Mental Health Moment, which is on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m., I'm usually only looking at one camera and on three platforms instead of four. So we're doing four today, and so that's why I'm looking at both cameras here. But welcome again. Mindset or mindresetchallenge.com, if you're just tuning in, is where you can go to find the free 30-day toolkit. But one of the things I was just mentioning is that it's really important to put life into perspective. So let me give you an example, right? This morning, actually, I was driving to volunteer at a food bank, and I don't love mornings at all. That is, I am not a morning person, but it's all good if you are. So I had to be at this location for the food bank at 7 a.m., which is really early for me. I know it's probably not really that early, but it's earlier than I usually need to be at a place. And so, nonetheless, sure enough, I was running a little bit late. And so I was like, well, I don't like being late. Like that's just a thing. I don't like being late. Um, so anyhow, I was kind of stressing a little bit in the car. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like 5 minutes late. Mind you, it's a volunteer shift. Like it's fine. It'll be fine. Good evening. Thanks for joining here. And so nonetheless, so I get to, like, I don't know, like 10 minutes away or whatnot. I'm like, okay, I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, I'll just be like 5 minutes late. But then I'm on a two-lane road where I was driving, and I see a bus driving towards me because it's the morning time, of course. And I'm on the other side of the road. And so, you know how, like, if you've ever passed a bus in the morning, like a school bus, they're about to turn on those lights to put up the stop sign. And then it, of course, delays traffic and all that and delays you and where you're going. So I was like, "Oh my goodness." I was so close. I was like the first person in line, but nonetheless, the bus driver put up the stop sign. Of course, I stopped. And as I did, and I was thinking about my own uh stress, if you will, which was like getting someplace a little bit later. I took a pause because I noticed that there was this little girl, probably like 5 years old, and this little boy, about 6 years old, with their dad. They were crossing the road where I was to get to the bus. And the dad was also um, pushing his another son who looked to be like four in a wheelchair. And this son had no legs. So the dad, I'm assuming the dad, I don't know these people obviously, but is pushing his son in a wheelchair who has no legs, who's around four. And then a little girl and a little boy are also like, right, they're crossing the road, right, where I'm stopped in front of them to get to the bus stop. And I just took a pause for a second. And I wanted to share that with you because I was like, again, this is what I'm sharing with you today for today's, kind of mind reset is about putting things into perspective. Because here I was stressing about getting to, this volunteer opportunity that I was doing this morning, like a couple minutes late, right? Like we stress about little things, is what I'm saying. But really, when I look at this particular family, I'm going to make the assumption that they're stressing about something a lot more than being someplace 5 minutes late, right? And other things. And hi for those who are still starting to join here. Um, and way bigger issues, if you will. So I just want to share that story with you because, again, and also it's funny. And also, when I was at the food bank this morning, and hi for those on IG, I'm on both, like, two cameras here. Um, so I'm trying to go back and forth and say hi to everyone. But I was just sharing, like, on today's mind reset challenge, if you will, that it's really important to put things into perspective. So one of the things that also happened today as I was at the food bank and volunteering, and highly would recommend, by the way, volunteering is very good for your mental health, is that you really start to think about things. And I'm like, again, just some of the things currently in my life that I stress about when I put things in perspective, and we're working on getting food items and other household items together for people who are maybe struggling to make ends meet, or struggling to have a meal, or worrying about where their next meal is coming from. Like, it really helps to just put things into perspective. So again, there's many, many more examples I could share with you, but I really just wanted to remind you of that today, to make sure that you're working on putting things into perspective that you're stressing about. And also, if you're just joining, hey, y'all joining. Oops, I pressed the wrong button here. I'm trying to wave to y'all. Hi on IG again. And again, mindresetchallenge.com is completely free. Is where thank you for putting that in the chat. Mindresetchallenge.com is where you can go to get the 30-day toolkit, if you will. And it's just simple things. One of the things that I preach often, and some of you who are um, who know me from Mental Health Moment know I preach this often. But one of the things that I really strongly believe in when it comes to our mental health and wellness is that you do things that don't take a whole lot of time. Because I don't know about you, but we're all busy, right? Yep. Someone said volunteer. Thank you for putting that in there too. But you know, there's things that you can do in your life. So again, today talking about mind reset. There's things that you can do in your life that take such a little amount of time, but can make a drastic, huge difference in your life. Right. So that is why, hey, princess. That is why it's so critically important for you to do things like a reset in whatever way it looks like for you. So hopefully you go to mindresetchallenge.com, you get the 30-day free, mind reset kit, if you will, to go through those steps. And even if you might see day one on there and this is already May 5th, right? We're already on the 5th of May. That's fine, right? Start wherever you want to start. If you want to start on day 5, it's all good. If you want to start on day 1 and you're a little bit past the month of May, it's fine because I'm doing this every Monday with you guys. So it doesn't matter. I want to remind you of that it doesn't matter if you are not exactly on like day 1. You can start on day 1 or you can start on day 5 or day 7 or whatever day that you hear this message. It's all good. So just a quick thing again that I wanted to remind you of today. I will be back on here next Monday, at 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to be here every Monday. I know this is the first Monday of the month. But if you have questions about mental health, if you have questions about wellness, bring them to this space. Invite your friends and family members. If you just need, like just some tips, quick tips, right? Just quick things to do. And also share. You can also share that website as well, mindresetchallenge.com. Thanks again for putting that in the chat here. But you can also, share that with others. Do that with a friend if you want to. If you're like, hey, I want to do this mind reset together. Because a lot of times when it comes to the physical side of things, if you're like, oh, I want to lose weight or I want to do this or I want to do a detox, I know a lot of people do things like that together, which is awesome. Do things like that with a friend or family member or significant other, whomever. But you can do that also with your mental health and wellness too, right? You can also choose to be like, hey, I want to do this mind reset thing with you. Let's do this together. And again, the day tasks are not something that's going to take you 3 hours because nobody I know has an extra 3 hours out of their day to be spending on this. So it's, it takes a couple minutes sometimes or a little bit of time, but it's just things for you to do to reset. Um, yep. Thank you. Thank you, Tamara, for writing all that in there. Yes, it's going to be every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And for those of you who are with me for Mental Health Moment on Tuesdays, I had to check. Okay, yes, I will be back tomorrow live. I know last week I wasn't live because I had a conflict, but tomorrow, Tuesday, I will be back live at 8 p.m. Eastern. And for those of you who are not on Mental Health Moment with Dr. Hammond, I am on the Black Women Empowered Incorporated Network on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. live as well. But that's a whole nother thing. But I'll be back here next Monday at 7 p.m. So bring your questions, bring your comments, invite a friend, as I mentioned. And I will be back next week. Have an amazing week. Again, be sure to go to mindresetchallenge.com. Grab your toolkit, start it. Little things that you can do just to work on, again, resetting and recharging, which we all can use. Okay. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye, everybody.